Hello, art students. Today we are going to take what we've created here. Now, for those of you who are new and haven't gotten this far, what this is it's basically a bunch of paper pulp that I blended up in my blender, and I used some warm water, just some leftover scrap paper from the cutting board, all different sorts of kinds of paper. I wasn't specific. Construction paper, I used tissue paper, printer paper, just whatever was there. I just kind of grabbed and mixed it all together. And then what I did is I took all that, processed it, and then I put it into a bowl, and then I put in there just a few handfuls of dirt from outside, and that's where we have some natural sediment of like rocks and pebbles and so forth. And then I added in some Elmer's PVC glue in there, and then I took a hand mixer and I whirled that around in there with my hand mixer, you know, those two-prong twirly hand mixers, and then I got it into a nice evenly blended consistency. I locked it away in a bin, sealed it shut, and then you can just kind of scoop in there and then pat it down on a paper plate. Okay, so I like the paper plate because I get a nice round shape. That is what we got right here. It's dry. I like the natural look of this crack. It makes it look more natural. What we're going to do today is we're going to recolor this, and we're going to give it an additional amount of some texture for the surface. So to do that, we're going to take some temper paint, and that is some glue right there. We're going to mix that together nicely. Okay. I also have a darker variation over here. Okay, so we've mixed in, stirred it in. They kind of mix nicely. That's going to allow my texture to harden a little bit more solid, and it's also going to hold down my texture more in place. I have some extra texture here, so or I have some extra sand to the side here, so I'll show you what we do. You take some of your paint that on there, try to get it down in those cracks even. That's not a bad idea. Now you won't want to do this part that I'm doing until you're confident that it has dried. Mine has started to curl up a little bit, so that's how I know mine's definitely dry enough now. Okay, I'm gonna throw a little bit of some dirt on here now, a little bit of dirt. I'm gonna try to use some black dirt. I'm just gonna put that right on top. Okay, so there's, you can see my dirt. Now I'm gonna go on top of it again with some extra paint. I'm just gonna work that in. I'm gonna try to blend the dirt with my paint, and that's going to create extra texture. Okay, deciding if I like that or not. I don't like these big balls. I think that's going to be too hard to work with. I have a different kind of dirt that I also use out from our playing fields. Okay, I have a little bit more of a broken down powdery kind, so I might try using some of this. This is like I said, it's from our baseball field. Okay, so I'll try using that. That's definitely a finer powder, and I think that's gonna work a little nicer here. So yeah, we'll use that, I think. Yes. Lovely. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to emulate a texture that makes it look like stone, a slab of stone. And we're going to turn these slabs of stones into Mesoamerican themed sundials, which is going to be cool. So you can take these out into the sun, and then you can see what time of the day it is based on the shadow that is cast from your stick that will be positioned in the center of your sundial. So kind of essentially, we're basically making a clock. Just gonna scrape those off. And then I think after this layer dries, we will do maybe a little bit more with the light gray. I want to try to make this as convincing as possible that it's a piece of stone, and this texture is definitely helping achieve that. I like using the paper pulp instead of just working straight onto the paper plate because it builds up a nice density. So it kind of turns this into a 3D project. And it's kind of fun. New material for students to work with, and I love it. I love it. A lot of mixing involved. That little bit of glue that we added into our tempera paint is going to help big time with locking down all of this texture, all of this sand that we're mixing in and working in. That little bit of glue is going to help solidify everything as this paint is drying. Your paper pulp might not turn out so black colored like mine did. Kind of resembled like a burnt cookie or something maybe. So that's why I am painting it, to give it recolorization. And I'm starting with my dark color because the dark color goes down into the grooves quite nicely. And then when I apply my lighter color on top of it, I'm going to dry brush a little more and just try to get like just the top surface. And that's gonna really make it look 3D and nice. So that's my thought process between my two gray tones. You could also do this probably with some other nature stone-like colors if you want to include a little bit of some browns or neutral tones of browns and such. Skin tones even probably look kind of cool. But I like the gray for this project. Yeah. For my cave art lesson, I use a lot of those browns. So my students might want to try something different, and so we'll do grays this time. Gotta keep it interesting. Okay, beautiful. I am done here. This will dry, and then I will see you in the next video when I do my light gray. Until then, see you there.